Did you know that the ancient Egyptians were one of many cultures that used arrays in mathematics? In simple terms, an array is a rectangular grid of equal rows or columns, depending on which way you look at it. The ancient Egyptians used arrays in their trade and to manage inventory. In this episode, I'm going to show you a simple strategy that utilizes arrays to teach and learn multiplication number facts involving 5. And it's called the Use 10 strategy for multiplication. And soon you'll know why. But before we start, let me give you 3 good reasons why the current approach for teaching the 5 facts of multiplication is essentially wrong. First, too many curriculums around the world advocate a counting strategy for learning your 5 facts. So what they get the students to do is they have each child put up one hand and they go around the class and they go 5, 10, so they're counting fingers, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6 groups of 5 is 30. Or they do intervals around a clock, an analog clock, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, all the way down to 30. And they go 6 5s are 30, see? And they're going, oh, okay, I can see that. But what about 8 5s? 8 5s, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's a long way to count. It's very inefficient. We don't want multiple steps that put a drain on our memory. There's reasons to support counting in 5s, but not as a strategy for learning your 5 facts, not as a calculation method. We need a strategy that is efficient. Second, we can't extend this same strategy to use with greater numbers. You know, what is 14 5s or 23 5s? That's a long way to count. I'm going to run out of fingers, I'm going to need my toes. This is grossly inefficient, and we need a strategy that is generalizable to greater numbers. And finally, I have a real issue with counting fingers or 5-minute intervals around the clock, because I'm not seeing 2 facts for the price of 1 picture. If I have 6 hands up, I can easily see 6 5s are 30. If I see the intervals around the clock, 6 5s are 30. But I should be able to also see the connection to 5 6s. Now, if I'm using fingers, 5 6s, I've got to get everyone to put up another finger, and one person's got to drop out of the picture because I've only got 5 children now, not 6. And then you go to say, do you see, boys and girls, you see how 6 5s is the same as 5 6s? And you're going, no, I don't see that. We're talking about the commutative property for multiplication, and its application creates what students commonly know as turnaround facts. So we need a strategy that gives you 2 facts using the 1 picture. By making a clever use of an array, we can negate all 3 issues and deliver on all our needs. Let me show you how. Look at this array. You should see 10 4s. 10 4s are 40. Now, 10 4s are 40 is a fact that students should already know. They would have learned that when they first started reading and writing 2-digit numbers. So that's what we call a prerequisite. 10 4s are 40, but 4 10s are also 40. So a use 10 strategy will give you 2 facts for the 1 picture. So look at this. What's 5 4s? 5 4s is exactly half of my original total. 5 4s is half of 10 4s. That one action of the card is far more efficient than counting, and it shows you that 5 4s is half of 10 4s. And I can use that strategy with other basic facts. What's 5 8s? I don't know 5 8s, but I know 10 8s are 80, so 5 8s must be half of that. The use 10 strategy is far more efficient than counting. But can I extend this strategy? Well, with simple experiences involving place value, students can learn to double and halve much greater numbers. So once they've mastered their basic facts involving 5, you can then use it to calculate much larger numbers, like what's 5 14s? What's 5 times 14? I don't know 5 14s, but I know 10 14s is 140. So 5 14s must be half of that, and I know that's 70. So the use 10 strategy is generalizable to greater numbers. Now this chart shows you all the multiplication facts that students must learn and have memorized. The left-hand column, that shows you one factor. Across the top shows you the other factor. So 5 eighths, for example, are 40. So here we have the use 10 strategy covers all these facts and their turnarounds. So this is what I want you to do. Forget about using a counting strategy to learn or to teach the 5's facts. It is inefficient. You cannot see the turnaround fact when you use the grouping model for multiplication, and you cannot generalize it to use it on greater numbers. Instead, I want you to use arrays to help your students use a tens fact that they should already know to learn a fact involving 5. In this way, you're really helping them make these really important or valuable connections in mathematics. Now, if you don't have these products, I suggest you make your own card. You only really need 1 or 2 to model the strategy. And finally, 3, use practice that reinforces the strategy. In the game I've provided you, it really helps children see the connection between facts involving a 10 and facts involving a 5. Now keep in mind the use 10 strategy is just one of many strategies your students or child will need to develop in order to learn all the facts they need to know. And finally, if you've seen value in this video, go ahead and subscribe today to make sure you never miss another learning moment with me. See you next time.